The wine glass tilts. Elowen Wynn watches the crystal rim catch the chandelier light, watches the Cabernet inside sway like a dark promise. Her fingers grip the armrests of her wheelchair, knuckles pale against polished wood. The engagement party hums around her. Laughter, clinking glasses, the string quartet playing something she used to know the name of. Maribel Cross stands behind her. Too close. The perfume hits first. Jasmine and something sharper, something that burns the back of Elowen's throat. Then the hand on her shoulder, fingers pressing down through silk and bone. Territorial. "Mrs. Wynn, you look tired." Maribel's voice carries the concerned lilt, the one she uses when staff are watching. "Should we get you to bed?" Elowen is 68 years old. She raised a son who built empires. She survived Jim Crow and redlining and every polite cruelty this country wrapped in good intentions. She does not need to be put to bed like a child. "I'm fine," she says. The fingers press harder. "Hi viewers, kindly tell us where you're watching from and what time it is." Across the room, Benton moves through his guests like water, effortless and clean in his tailored suit. He built his wealth in tech, something about data infrastructure that Elowen never quite understood but supported anyway because that's what mothers do. They believe before the world does. 32 years old and he owns half of downtown. And tonight he promised forever to a woman who whispers cruelty in corners. Maribel leans down. Her breath is warm against Elowen's ear. This is his night. Don't ruin it by being difficult. The wheelchair's brake releases. Elowen didn't touch it. Maribel's foot did, subtle against the metal lever. The chair rolls forward an inch, just enough to unsettle, just enough to remind Elowen that she is not in control of her own body anymore. "I said I'm fine." "Of course you are." Maribel straightens, smoothing her champagne-colored dress. She waves at someone across the room, all white teeth and grace. "I just worry about you." "We all do." The "we" lands like a stone. We, the people who matter, the people who make decisions, the people who aren't sitting in wheelchairs watching their son celebrate with a woman who moves through the world like she's collecting trophies. Elowen's physical therapist quit last month. Just stopped showing up. When Elowen asked Benton about it, he said Maribel had found someone better, more specialized. The new one never looks Elowen in the eye, never asks if the exercises hurt, just moves her limbs like she's folding laundry. The medication changed too. Different pills, different bottles. Elowen mentioned the headaches and Maribel said that's normal, that's adjustment, that's what healing feels like. Benton nodded along because Maribel went to medical school for 2 years before switching to philanthropy, which apparently made her an expert on everything. The wine glass tilts further. Elowen sees it happening in slow motion, the way Maribel's wrist rotates, casual as a yawn. The Cabernet hovers at the glass rim, gravity pulling it forward, and Maribel is asking someone about their vacation to the Hamptons. Not looking down, not looking at what her hand is doing. The first drops hit Elowen's shoulder, cold and dark, spreading across the cream fabric of her dress like blood. "Oh God!" Maribel gasps, jumping back. The glass tips completely now, emptying itself across Elowen's lap, her chest, soaking through layers until the wine reaches skin. "I'm so sorry. I didn't..." "Someone bumped me." No one bumped her. Elowen felt Maribel's fingers flex, felt the deliberate rotation of that wrist. But she's the only one who knows that. To everyone else. The guests now turning, the staff rushing forward with napkins. It's an accident. These things happen. How terrible. How embarrassing. Benton appears, his face creased with concern that doesn't reach deep enough to see what Elowen sees. "Mom, are you okay?" The wine stings where her skin has thinned with age. It drips from her chin. She tastes metal and oak and something bitter that might be the wine or might be the truth that no one wants to swallow. Maribel is already dabbing at the stains, her movements quick and efficient, drawing more attention to the mess. "I feel awful. Mrs. Wynn, please, let me help." "Don't." The word comes out harder than Elowen intended. The dabbing stops. Maribel's hand hovers, napkin pressed against Elowen's collarbone, and for 1 second their eyes meet. In that second, Elowen sees it, the satisfaction, the cold pleasure of a job well done. Then it's gone, replaced by wounded confusion. I'm just trying to help. I know, Elowen says quietly, which is not the same as thank you. Staff will her away. The party continues. Behind her, she hears Maribel's voice, shaky and apologetic, telling someone she doesn't know what happened. She was just holding her glass, and then Elowen stares at the chandelier as they push her down the hallway toward her room. The crystals catch light and throw it back in fragments, never whole, never complete. She used to think wealth would protect her son, that success would build walls high enough to keep out the poison. But poison doesn't climb walls. It gets invited in. It wears engagement rings. It apologizes beautifully. In her room, the nurse, the new one Maribel hired, helps her out of the ruined dress without speaking. Efficient hands, empty eyes. The dress goes into a bag. Evidence of nothing. The wine will stain and the dress will be thrown away, and tomorrow Maribel will probably send flowers with a note about how terrible she feels. Elowen lets herself be changed into clean clothes, lets herself be positioned in bed like a doll. The nurse leaves without saying goodnight. Through the window, the party glows. She can see silhouettes moving behind glass, celebrating a future that hasn't happened yet. Benton's laugh carries across the lawn, bright and unaware. He sounds happy. He sounds like he did when he was 7 and she bought him that telescope, back when the universe was something to explore instead of something to own. Maribel will make a wonderful wife. Everyone says so. She runs 3 charities. She volunteers at the Children's Hospital. She speaks 4 languages and knows which fork to use and can make a room full of strangers feel like family. And she hates Elowen with a precision that feels almost medical. Not because Elowen did anything, but because Elowen is something, a reminder that Benton came from somewhere before Maribel found him. A witness to the years when he was just a brilliant black kid in a school that kept trying to diagnose his intelligence as disruption. A link to a past that doesn't photograph well for the kind of future Maribel is building. Elowen closes her eyes. The wine smell clings to her skin despite the washing. Tomorrow she will wake up and Maribel will visit and apologize again and maybe bring pastries from that French bakery. And Elowen will accept the apology because what choice does she have? She stopped reporting the small cruelties 3 months ago. The comments about her memory. The way Maribel moves things just slightly out of reach. The medications that make her fog-headed and slow. She stopped reporting because Benton didn't see it. Couldn't see it. Didn't want to see it. And maybe that's the worst part. Not the abuse itself, but the loneliness of being the only witness to your own erasure. The party music drifts through the window. Someone starts a toast. Crystal rings against crystal, a sound like breaking. Elowen opens her eyes and stares at the ceiling. Somewhere in this house, a woman is celebrating her engagement. Somewhere in this house, that same woman is already planning the next accident. And somewhere, though Elowen doesn't know this yet, a little girl with sharp eyes and a sharper sense of justice is watching through the service entrance, wondering why nobody else seems to notice what's happening to the old woman in the wheelchair. What do you think Maribel will do next now that she's gotten away with it? Elowen's hands used to move faster. She remembers this on Tuesday morning when the breakfast tray arrives late and the toast is cold. Her fingers fumble with the butter knife, the tremor worse than yesterday. The arthritis specialist said it would progress. Maribel said they should consider in-home care, full-time supervision, maybe one of those lovely facilities upstate where the rooms have views and the staff knows how to handle, like Elowen is livestock. She manages to butter half the toast before the nurse returns. Different nurse. They keep changing. Elowen stopped learning their names after the third one quit without notice. Mrs. Wynn, you haven't touched your pills. The pills sit in their little white cup, 5 different colors, 5 different purposes. Blood pressure, arthritis, something for her heart, something for the nerve pain that showed up 6 months ago, right around when Maribel started spending more time at the estate. Something else that the doctor said would help with memory but mostly just makes her tired. I'll take them in a minute. Mr. Wynn asked me to make sure you take them with breakfast. The nurse's voice is flat, bored. She's young, maybe 25, with that particular shade of disinterest that comes from seeing too many old bodies doing old body things. Doctor's orders. Elowen takes the pills, swallows them with orange juice that tastes like it came from concentrate. The nurse watches to make sure they go down, then leaves with the same mechanical efficiency she brought. Alone again. The estate has 40 rooms and Elowen lives in one of them, the ground floor bedroom that used to be a study before the wheelchair made stairs impossible. She can see the garden from here. Maribel redesigned it last spring, ripped out all the wildflowers Elowen had planted, and replaced them with geometric hedges and roses that look expensive and smell like nothing. Benton loved those wildflowers when he was small. Used to pick them and bring them inside in fistfuls, roots and dirt still attached. So proud of himself for knowing which ones were dandelions and which ones were actually weeds pretending to be flowers. When did he stop noticing what gets ripped out? The memory sits heavy. Elowen spent 30 years raising him alone. His father left before Benton turned 2, decided that fatherhood looked different than he expected, that the woman he married in a fever of young love wasn't the woman he wanted to grow old with. So it was just Elowen and her son, navigating a world that praised his test scores but followed him through stores. She worked 2 jobs, paralegal by day, community college instructor at night, to afford the private school that would see his potential instead of his skin. She taught him to be twice as good for half the recognition, taught him to speak softly in rooms that wanted him loud or silent, nothing in between, taught him that success meant building something they couldn't take away. And he did. God, he did. By 25, he had his first company. By 30, he had 3 more. The tech industry loved him, young, brilliant, black enough to be interesting but polished enough to be safe. He gave TED Talks. He appeared on magazine covers. He donated to the right causes and said the right things and made people feel good about their progressiveness. Elowen was proud. Is proud. The pride hasn't disappeared. It's just gotten complicated. The pills make her drowsy. She fights it, but the fog creeps in anyway. Her head tilts back against the wheelchair. Through half-closed eyes, she sees Maribel appear in the doorway, fresh from her morning run, skin glowing with expensive health. How are we feeling today? Always we. Like they're a team. Fine. Maribel moves into the room with that liquid grace she has, the kind that comes from a childhood of ballet lessons and good posture enforcement. She perches on the edge of the bed, close enough to seem caring, far enough to avoid actual intimacy. I wanted to apologize again, about last night. Her eyes are wide and earnest, the color of sea glass. I keep replaying it in my mind. I don't know what happened. You know exactly what happened, Elowen thinks. But the pills make her tongue slow and her thoughts slower. So what comes out is, accidents happen. You're so gracious. Maribel reaches out, touches Elowen's hand. The touch is gentle. It's also a warning. Benton was so worried. He almost canceled his morning meetings. Translation: don't make him worry. Don't be difficult. Don't ruin what we have here. Elowen pulls her hand back slowly, like she's adjusting her position. Nothing aggressive. Tell him I'm fine. I will. Maribel stands, smooths her running shorts. Oh, I almost forgot. Dr. Hammond called. He thinks we should adjust your medications again. The current combination might be causing some confusion. Confusion. That word keeps appearing in conversations about Elowen, spoken by people who weren't there, diagnosing symptoms she didn't report. I'm not confused. Of course not. Maribel's smile doesn't reach anywhere near her eyes. But you did seem a little disoriented last night. Several people mentioned it. Several people. Anonymous witnesses to behavior Elowen doesn't remember displaying. I wasn't disoriented. I was covered in wine. Right? The smile holds. Well, Dr. Hammond will be by this afternoon. I'll make sure the nurse knows to prepare your chart. She leaves trailing perfume and implication. The door closes with a soft click that sounds like a lock even though it isn't one. Elowen stares at her hands. They're shaking worse now. Whether from the medications or the rage, she can't tell. Maybe both. Maybe it doesn't matter because the effect is the same. She looks unstable. She looks like someone who needs managing. The first time Maribel crossed a line was subtle. For months ago, during Sunday dinner, Benton was telling a story about a deal he'd closed, animated and happy, and Elowen started to add something. A memory of him as a child, negotiating for extra dessert with the same intensity he now used on investors. Maribel had laughed, touched Benton's arm and said, "Your mother keeps telling that story. It's sweet. Keeps telling. Implying repetition. Implying decline." Benton had glanced at Elowen with something new in his eyes. Concern. Doubt. The beginning of that terrible awareness that parents age and aging means loss. Elowen hadn't told that story before, but in that moment, defending herself felt like proving she was defensive. So she'd smiled and said nothing and let Maribel rewrite the narrative. It escalated from there. Small comments, helpful suggestions. Maribel started managing Elowen's calendar, her medications, her physical therapy schedule. Started speaking for her in conversations, answering questions Elowen was perfectly capable of answering herself. Started creating a reality where Elowen was declining faster than she actually was. And Benton believed it. Why wouldn't he? Maribel was caring. Maribel was attentive. Maribel loved him enough to take on the burden of his aging mother without complaint. Except it wasn't love. It was elimination. The afternoon stretches long. Dr. Hammond arrives with his leather bag and his patronizing smile. He's been the family doctor for 6 years, long enough to remember when Elowen walked without assistance. Now he talks to her like she's a child. "Let's see how we're doing." Blood pressure cuff, stethoscope. Questions about her sleep, her appetite, her mood. Maribel hovers nearby, helpful and concerned, occasionally adding observations that paint Elowen as more impaired than she is. "She seems more tired lately. I've noticed some memory lapses. Yesterday she got confused about what day it was." All lies, all delivered with such conviction that even Elowen starts to doubt herself. Did she forget what day it was? Is she more tired? Maybe the exhaustion comes from fighting to be seen clearly through Maribel's fog of helpful concern. Dr. Hammond adjusts her prescriptions. More pills, different dosages. He assures her this will help with the confusion, with the fatigue, with symptoms she didn't have until people started treating her like she did. After he leaves, Elowen sits in her wheelchair and stares at the new pill bottles lined up on her nightstand like little soldiers. Benton appears in the doorway, still wearing his work clothes, tie loosened around his neck. "Hey Mom, how was the doctor?" He looks tired. Running 3 companies will do that. Elowen wants to protect him from one more burden. Wants him to focus on his empire building without worrying about whether his mother is losing her mind. But more than that, she wants him to see. "Benton." Her voice comes out steadier than she expected. "Can we talk?" "Of course." He enters, sits on the bed where Maribel sat this morning. Different energy entirely. Where Maribel perched, Benton settles. Where Maribel performed concern, Benton radiates it naturally. What's on your mind? How does she say this? How does she explain that the woman he loves is systematically erasing her without sounding jealous or paranoid or confused? That word again. Confused? The medications. "I don't think I need all these changes. Dr. Hammond thinks they'll help." Maribel thinks they'll help. Dr. Hammond just writes what she suggests. Benton's face shifts. Not quite defensive, but close. "That's not fair. Maribel's been incredible with coordinating your care. I don't need coordinating. I need someone to listen. I'm listening, but he isn't. Not really." Elowen can see it in the way his eyes flick toward the door, toward the freedom of not having this conversation. In the way his shoulders tense against accusations he doesn't want to believe. She tries different words. "Last night, the wine. That wasn't an accident." Silence. The kind that precedes something breaking. "Mom." His voice is gentle, pitying. People saw. Maribel was devastated. She apologized. She tipped the glass deliberately. Why would she do that? The question sits between them like a test. Why would a woman who runs charities and volunteers with children deliberately pour wine on her fiancé's elderly mother? What possible motivation could she have? Elowen doesn't have an answer that won't sound insane. Because she hates me. Because I'm in the way. Because she's building a future that doesn't include witnesses to Benton's past. I don't know why, but I know what I felt. Benton stands. He paces to the window, hands in his pockets, looking out at the garden Maribel redesigned. When he turns back, his face carries something worse than disbelief. Pity. Dr. Hammond mentioned that the medications might cause some paranoia. That's actually why he adjusted them. There it is. The trap closes. If she protests, she proves she's paranoid. If she stays silent, she accepts the diagnosis. Either way, her reality becomes questionable. I'm not paranoid. I didn't say you were. He crosses back to her, kneels so they're eye level. His hands cover hers, warm and solid. I love you, Mom. I want you to be comfortable, to be happy. If something's wrong with your care, tell me. But don't. He stops, choosing his words. Don't make Maribel the villain. She's trying so hard. And there it is, Elowen thinks. The choice between her truth and his peace. She could fight harder. Could detail every microaggression, every subtle cruelty, every moment when Maribel's mask slipped. But she sees how this ends. Benton caught between two women, forced to choose, maybe choosing the one who isn't falling apart, who isn't making accusations nobody else witnessed. So Elowen does what she's done for 68 years when the world asked her to make herself smaller. She nods. You're right. I'm probably just tired. Relief floods his face. The new medications will help. Give them a few weeks. He kisses her forehead and leaves to return to his empire. The door closes. The room settles into silence. Elowen sits in her wheelchair and realizes she just agreed to take pills prescribed to fix a problem that only exists in someone else's imagination. But refusing them would prove she's difficult. Taking them might prove she's declining. Either way, Maribel wins. Outside, the geometric roses bloom without scent. The wildflowers are long gone, their roots ripped out to make room for something more controlled, more appropriate, more dead. Do you think Benton will realize the truth before it's too late? Maribel Cross learned control before she learned kindness. Her mother taught her young how to enter a room and calculate its power dynamics in 3 seconds. Who matters? Who pretends to matter? Who's marking time until someone important arrives? Maribel absorbed these lessons in the Charleston house with the wraparound porch, where gentility masked ambition and every smile had an agenda. She was 7 when she understood that pretty wasn't enough. You had to be useful pretty, strategic pretty, the kind that opened doors and kept them open. At 10, she started volunteering. Not because she cared about literacy rates or food insecurity, but because her mother explained that compassion was a currency. People trusted women who helped. They invited helpful women into their circles, their homes, their lives. By 15, Maribel ran her high school's charity drive. By 20, she had a seat on 3 nonprofit boards. By 25, she was photographed at galas standing next to men who owned cities. She wanted one of them, not for love. Love was what people settled for when they couldn't get power. She wanted partnership, empire, a last name that meant something. Then she met Benton Wynn at a tech industry fundraiser, and something in her recognized something in him. Ambition wearing a humble face, brilliance that knew its worth but played modest, wealth that had been earned rather than inherited, which meant he understood hunger. Also, he had a mother who still cut his hair. Maribel saw opportunity there, a gap in his armor, a soft place where influence could take root. She's thinking about this Tuesday afternoon while reviewing the guest list for the foundation gala. Her office in the city is all glass and light, overlooking a view that cost more than most people's mortgages. Awards line the shelves: Humanitarian of the Year, Community Champion, various plaques from organizations grateful for her tireless dedication. Her assistant brings coffee. Maribel doesn't look up. Did you confirm the photographer? Yes, Ms. Cross. And the caterer asked about dietary restrictions. Send them the list I gave you last month. If they can't follow basic instructions, we'll use someone else. The assistant retreats. Maribel sips her coffee. Is the right temperature, the right strength? She trained 3 assistants before this one, firing the ones who couldn't anticipate her needs. Anticipation is everything. In her world, you don't wait for problems to surface. You see them coming and you eliminate them before they become visible to anyone else. Elowen Wynn is a problem. Not a large one yet. Not unsolvable. But she's a reminder of where Benton came from, and Maribel needs him focused on where they're going. The mother sits in that estate like a monument to struggle, proof that Benton had to climb instead of being born at the summit. That narrative has its uses. Maribel exploits it when beneficial, the self-made man, the son who lifted himself up. But narratives need careful management. Too much reality makes people uncomfortable. Donors don't want to think about Section 8 housing or community college or the specific mechanisms of poverty. They want the sanitized version, the inspiration without the mess. Elowen is mess. She talks too much about the past. She tells embarrassing stories about Benton as a child, about times they couldn't afford things, about the specific texture of struggle that polite society prefers to imagine rather than witness. Also, she watches Maribel with eyes that see too much. Maribel felt it the first time they met. That assessment, that resistance. Old women from old struggles can smell ambition, and Elowen never quite bought Maribel's performance. Never quite believed in the helpful fiancée, the caring future daughter-in-law. So Maribel decided to make her believe. Or at least, to make everyone else believe that Elowen was declining too fast to be a reliable narrator of her own reality. It started simple. Maribel began documenting concerns. She mentioned to Benton that his mother repeated herself. She suggested that Elowen seemed tired, confused, maybe struggling more than she admitted. She arranged for new doctors, new medications, new caretakers who reported to Maribel first. The wine incident at the engagement party was an escalation. Necessary, but risky. Maribel watched the glass empty across Elowen's lap and felt something close to pleasure. Not because she enjoyed causing pain, she wasn't a sadist, but because she enjoyed solving problems. And humiliating Elowen in front of witnesses, then swooping in with apologies and concern, accomplished several goals at once. It made Elowen look fragile. It made Maribel look devoted. It created a story everyone could agree on. Poor Mrs. Wynn, declining so quickly. Thank goodness Benton has Maribel to help manage things. Her phone buzzes. Text from Benton. Dinner tonight? Mom seemed off when I talked to her earlier. Maribel types back. Of course. I'm worried too. Maybe we should discuss memory care options. She doesn't believe Elowen needs memory care, but suggesting it plants seeds. Makes Benton think proactively about solutions. Gets him comfortable with the idea of distance, of professional management, of transitioning his mother from family member to patient. The office door opens. Maribel's event coordinator enters with fabric swatches for the gala tablecloths. They spread the options across the conference table: ivory, champagne, blush. Maribel examines each one with the same intensity she brings to everything. The blush is too pink. We're not hosting a baby shower. What about the champagne? Too yellow in certain light. We want elegant, not jaundiced. She points to the ivory. This one. With the darker napkins we selected. The coordinator nods, makes notes. Maribel returns to her laptop, already moving to the next item. Efficiency is a form of power. People who waste time waste opportunities. Her mother called last week. The conversation lasted 4 minutes. Are you pregnant yet? Good afternoon, mother. Don't deflect. You're 32. The clock matters, whether feminism pretends otherwise. I'm focused on the foundation launch. You can do both. Men like Benton respond to family. Give him a child and you'll never have to worry about the mother problem. The mother problem. Her mother said it so casually, like discussing weather, as if mothers were obstacles to route around rather than people with histories and rights and stubborn insistence on matching. But her mother wasn't wrong. A grandchild would shift Benton's focus, would create new priorities, would make Elowen feel even more peripheral to the future being built without her input. Maribel isn't ready for children yet. Children require sacrifice, attention, years of diminished capacity. But eventually, yes, eventually she'll weaponize pregnancy the same way she weaponizes charity work and concern for Elowen's well-being. Everything is a tool. That's what her mother taught her. Love is a tool. Marriage is a tool. Even kindness is a tool if you understand how to use it without letting it use you. The afternoon passes in meetings, budget reviews for the foundation, a call with the marketing team about the promotional materials, a quick interview with a lifestyle magazine about work-life balance, during which Maribel performs the required humility. She's just lucky, just trying to make a difference, just grateful for the platform. At 6, she drives to the estate. The gates open automatically, recognizing her car. She parks in the circular driveway and sits for a moment, checking her reflection. Hair perfect, makeup subtle, the concerned fiancé ready to support her future family. Inside, she finds Benton in the library with a whiskey. He looks tired. She crosses to him, kisses his cheek, takes the glass from his hand and sips from it. Intimate gesture, shared drink, unspoken partnership. Long day. The acquisition is taking longer than projected. Legal keeps finding issues. Maribel sets the glass down, begins massaging his shoulders. Her hands know exactly where tension lives in his body. She studied him the way she studies everything, with precision and purpose. You'll figure it out. You always do. He relaxes into her touch. How was your day? Productive. The gala is coming together beautifully. She pauses, timing it. I visited your mother this morning. His shoulders tense again. How was she? Struggling, I think. She seemed disoriented. Dr. Hammond said the medication changes might take time. Should I go see her? Maybe tomorrow? She was resting when I left. I just want her to be comfortable. Maribel's voice carries that perfect note of concern. Genuine enough to sound real, controlled enough to stay useful. Have you thought more about what Dr. Hammond suggested? About full-time care? Benton stands, paces to the window. This is his processing mode. Maribel has learned to wait, to let silence do the work. It feels like giving up. It's not giving up. It's making sure she gets what she needs. Maribel moves beside him, takes his hand. You can't care for her and run 3 companies. That's not sustainable. And I think she stops, like the words are difficult. I think maybe she'd be happier somewhere designed for her needs. Somewhere with activities with people her age. Translation. Somewhere away from here. Somewhere she can't watch us. Somewhere her version of events becomes irrelevant. Benton doesn't answer immediately. He's thinking about his mother in a facility, imagining her in a shared room with strangers, being spoon-fed in a dining hall. The guilt works across his face like weather. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. Maribel leans against him. I just want what's best for both of you. They stay like that for a moment. Through the window, the estate grounds stretch toward darkness. Maribel mentally catalogs what still needs addressing. The spring garden renovations, the repainting of the east wing, the staff reviews. After the wedding, she'll redecorate completely. She already has the designer picked. Modern, clean lines. None of this old money aesthetic that Benton thinks is sophisticated but actually just looks dated. She wants their home to signal future, not past. Want it to look like wealth that knows what it's doing, not wealth that's still figuring itself out. And she wants it without Elowen's presence hovering in corners, making Benton feel guilty about his success. At dinner, Benton's quiet. Maribel fills the silence with foundation talk, gala updates, safe topics that don't require his full attention. The staff serves roasted chicken and asparagus. Everything is perfect: temperature, presentation, timing. Maribel cuts her chicken into precise pieces. She never takes large bites in front of Benton, never talks with her mouth full, never exhibits the small vulgarities that remind people you have a body with needs. I was thinking, she says, about the wedding guest list. What about it? We're at 400. I think we should aim for 500. There are some donors I'd like to include. Benton nods. He doesn't care about the guest list. Most grooms don't. They care about showing up on time and not crying during the vows. Whatever you think is best. I'll make sure your mother is comfortable that day. Close to the front, good view, everything accessible. The mention is intentional. It reminds him that Maribel is thinking about Elowen, planning for her, being the dutiful soon-to-be daughter-in-law. It also plants the image of Elowen at the wedding, frail, wheelchair-bound, possibly confused. A figure of sympathy rather than celebration. After dinner, Benton goes to his office to work. Maribel walks the estate grounds in the cooling evening. She does this sometimes when she needs to think. The property is beautiful objectively. 20 acres of managed landscape, trees older than the country, stone paths that wind past fountains and flower beds. She imagines it after the wedding. Imagines parties here, fundraisers, events that matter. Imagines photographers capturing her in this setting. The mansion glowing behind her. Proof that she's arrived exactly where she intended. A light is on in Elowen's room. Maribel sees the glow through the ground floor window. She wonders what the old woman thinks about at night. Whether she lies awake resenting Maribel. Whether she's figured out yet that fighting back only makes her look more unstable. Probably not. Elowen strikes Maribel as someone who still believes in justice, in truth prevailing, in good intentions being recognized. It's almost sweet, that level of delusion, that faith in fairness despite a lifetime of evidence suggesting otherwise. Maribel heads back inside. She finds Benton still working, kisses him goodnight, drives back to her apartment in the city. Her space is minimal, expensive, clean. No photographs, no sentimental objects. Just furniture that costs more than most people earn in months and art she bought because galleries told her it was important. She showers, changes into silk pajamas, sits at her laptop and checks tomorrow's schedule. Morning meeting with the foundation board. Lunch with a potential donor. Afternoon visit to the children's hospital for photographs. Everything planned. Everything controlled. Exactly how she likes it. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer, but curiosity wins. Hello, Ms. Cross? This is Denise from Harmony Hills Care Facility. You requested information about our memory care program. Maribel smiles. She did request that information 3 weeks ago preemptively, because planning means thinking 6 steps ahead. Yes, thank you for calling. I'd love to schedule a tour. Of course, we have availability Thursday at 10. Perfect. She hangs up, makes a note in her calendar. Thursday at 10, she'll tour a facility she won't mention to Benton yet. She'll gather information, assess the space, determine if it meets her standards. Then, weeks from now, when the moment is right, she'll mention it casually. As if the idea just occurred to her. As if she's not already 3 moves ahead. Maribel turns off the lights. In the darkness, she thinks about Elowen's face when the wine spilled. That moment of realization. That flash of understanding that she was outmatched. It wasn't personal. Maribel genuinely doesn't hate the woman. She just needs her absent. And in Maribel's experience, need always beats sentiment. She closes her eyes. Tomorrow is another day of being helpful, concerned, devoted. Another day of building the narrative that will eventually make Elowen's departure seem inevitable and merciful. Another day of winning a game the other player doesn't fully understand she's playing. Should someone warn Benton about who he's really marrying? The law firm occupies 3 floors of glass and steel downtown. Benton's office sits at the corner, windows on 2 sides, view stretching toward water. His assistant brings morning coffee at 7:30, exactly when he arrives, every day without variance. Thomas Chun has worked as Benton's general counsel for 6 years. He's efficient, discreet, expensive. Today he sits across from Benton reviewing acquisition contracts, but Benton's focus keeps drifting toward his phone. 2 missed calls from the estate. 1 from the nurse. 1 from Maribel. Are you listening? Thomas asks. Sorry. Continue. The IP clause needs revision. Their current language gives them too much control over derivative works. Benton nods. His phone buzzes again. This time he checks it. Text from Maribel. Your mother had a difficult morning. Nothing serious, but Dr. Hammond is here. Call when you can. We need to pause, Benton says. Family thing. Thomas gathers his papers without comment. He's seen Benton handle boardroom battles without blinking, negotiate billion-dollar deals over lunch. But mention his mother and something shifts. The armor thins. Alone, Benton calls the estate. Maribel answers on the second ring. Hi, sorry to worry you. She's okay now. What happened? She fell trying to get out of bed. The nurse found her on the floor. Dr. Hammond thinks maybe the new medications are affecting her balance. Benton closes his eyes, sees his mother on the floor, alone, struggling. The image sits in his chest like a stone. Did she hurt anything? Some bruising. He wants to run a few more tests. Maribel's voice is steady, calm. She's good in crisis, one of the things he loves about her. But I think we need to talk seriously about full-time supervision. She can't be alone anymore. I'll come home. You don't need to rush. She's resting. Maybe come this evening. He agrees but can't focus after hanging up. His mother is 78, no 68. The numbers blur sometimes. Age meaning less than capability, then independence, then the specific dignity of doing things yourself. At lunch, he meets with his CFO. They discuss quarterly projections, upcoming IPO, growth targets. The numbers should excite him. Instead, they feel hollow, proof of success that matters less than his mother's bruises. His phone buzzes throughout. Updates from Maribel. His mother is awake. She's asking for him. Dr. Hammond recommends increased supervision. The nurse thinks they should consider a better wheelchair, something more stable. Each text is reasonable. Each suggestion makes sense. But accumulated, they create a narrative. Elowen is declining fast, requires intervention, cannot be trusted with her own body anymore. Benton drives to the estate at 4. The gates open. The driveway curves past gardens that cost more than his first apartment. He built this, the house, the wealth, the security that should protect everyone he loves. So why does his mother keep getting hurt? Inside, he finds her in bed. The bruise on her arm is dark, ugly. She looks smaller than he remembers, though that's impossible. People don't shrink in weeks. Hey, Mom. Her eyes open. They're clear, alert. That sharpness he remembers from childhood, when she could read his lies before he finished telling them. You didn't need to come. You fell. I lost my balance. It happens. She shifts, winces. Maribel's making it sound worse than it was. There it is again. That tension between his mother and his fiancée. Benton sits in the chair beside the bed, suddenly exhausted. Dr. Hammond is concerned. Dr. Hammond does whatever Maribel suggests. That's not fair, isn't it? Elowen's voice is soft but firm. She wants me in a facility, Benton. She's been building that narrative for months. She wants you safe. She wants me gone. The words land hard. Benton stands, paces to the window. Outside, staff trim the hedges with geometric precision. Everything maintained. Everything controlled. Why would you say that? Because it's true. Elowen struggles to sit up straighter. The effort costs her, but she manages. I know you don't want to believe it. I know she's perfect on paper, but she's systematically making me look incompetent, so you'll agree to move me somewhere I can't witness what she's really like. Mom, the medications, the staff changes, the falls that only happen when she's nearby. The wine at the party wasn't an accident, and this morning I didn't fall. I was knocked when the nurse was helping me stand. Benton turns. His mother's face carries conviction, certainty, the absolute belief in her own version of events. It's the same face she wore when she told him he'd get into MIT, that the scholarship would come through, that working hard mattered even when the world suggested otherwise. She was right then. But this? The nurse knocked you? I can't prove it. That's the point. Everything is just ambiguous enough. But I know what I feel, and I know I'm being managed out of your life. Benton sits back down, takes his mother's hand. It's thin, the bones prominent, skin papery. When did her hands become old? I don't think you're lying. I think the medications might be... Don't. She pulls her hand back. Don't use the medications as an excuse to dismiss me. I'm not confused. I'm not paranoid. I'm telling you what's happening and you're choosing not to see it. The accusation stings because part of him wonders if it's true. If he's been too distracted by success, by Maribel, by building his empire to notice his mother being dismantled. But the alternative, that Maribel is deliberately cruel, that the woman he loves is systematically abusing the woman who raised him, that's impossible to accept without evidence stronger than his mother's word against everyone else's observations. A knock at the door. Maribel enters carrying tea and sympathy. How are we doing? Elowen's face closes. That quick shutdown, the way prey freezes when predators approach. Fine, she says. Maribel sets the tea on the nightstand. I brought your favorite. Chamomile with honey. She turns to Benton. Dr. Hammond left updated instructions. I'll make sure the nurse understands them. She's wearing soft colors. Her movements are gentle. Everything about her screams care, devotion, the kind of daughter-in-law mothers dream about. Thank you, Benton says. Elowen says nothing. Maribel touches Benton's shoulder. Can I talk to you for a minute? Outside. In the hallway, she closes the door softly behind them. Her face carries exhaustion, the kind that comes from holding things together while everyone else falls apart. I'm worried about her, Maribel says. The falls are getting worse. Dr. Hammond thinks her bone density is declining faster than expected. She thinks you're trying to get rid of her. Maribel's face doesn't change. No shock, no hurt, just sad acceptance. I know. She's been saying things like that for weeks. She leans against the wall. It's part of the cognitive decline. Creating narratives where she's the victim helps her make sense of losing independence. Is that what Dr. Hammond said? It's what the research says. I've been reading everything I can. She looks at him. Benton, I know this is hard. I know you want to believe her. But sometimes the kindest thing we can do is make decisions for people who can't make them safely for themselves anymore. He wants to argue, wants to defend his mother's clarity, her version of events. But Maribel's right that independence lost feels like persecution when you're the one losing it. And his mother has always been proud, stubborn, unwilling to admit weakness. Maybe that's all this is. Pride refusing to accept decline. What do you think we should do? Tour Harmony Hills. Just look. See if it feels right. Maribel takes his hand. She'd have her own room, access to physical therapy, social activities, people trained to handle her specific needs. It feels like giving up on her. It's not giving up. It's giving her a chance to be safe while she still has good years left. The logic makes sense. The care makes sense. Maribel makes sense in ways his mother's accusations don't. He agrees to tour the facility Thursday. Inside the room, Elowen lies still, staring at the ceiling. She heard every word through the door. Heard Benton agree to tour the place that will become her exile. She should fight harder. Should scream or throw things or make it impossible to ignore her. But 68 years of being a black woman in America taught her that anger from people like her reads as instability. That raising her voice means confirming every assumption about her incompetence. So she lies quiet, lets them make their plans. Lets Maribel win this round while she figures out if there's a game left worth playing. The chamomile tea cools on the nightstand. Elowen doesn't touch it. Can't shake the feeling that accepting anything from Maribel is accepting something worse than kindness. What would you do if no one believed you were being abused? Talia Monroe learned to read rooms before she learned to read books. Foster homes taught her that. 12 different houses in 11 years. Each one a new puzzle, which adults hit, which ones just neglected, which ones were counting days until the state check cleared. She got good at identifying danger before it announced itself. Posture tells stories. So do voices. The way people position themselves, how much space they claim, whether they look you in the eye or past you like your furniture. Tuesday morning, she wakes in the Brighton house. Her 7th placement. Sharon Brighton is 50-something. Tired, runs a clean home for 4 foster girls ranging from 8 to 15. Talia's 11 and knows this placement is temporary. They're always temporary. She dresses in the uniform, jeans and a donated hoodie that doesn't quite fit. Breakfast is cereal and silence. The other girls eat fast and disappear to school. Talia's school day starts later. She's in a special program at the community center for kids who moved around too much to maintain normal schedules. Sharon drives her there on the way to her cleaning job. They don't talk. Sharon's not mean, just worn down. 3 years of fostering will do that. Watching kids come and go, trying not to get attached to temporary people. The community center smells like old carpet and industrial cleaner. Talia's classroom has 6 kids, 1 teacher, and walls covered in motivational posters about growth mindsets and believing in yourself. The posters are supposed to inspire. Mostly they remind Talia that someone thought kids like her needed inspiration taped to walls. Her teacher, Ms. Reeves, is young and earnest. She actually tries, which makes her different from the ones who show up for paychecks. Today they're working on fractions. Talia finished the worksheet in 10 minutes and now stares out the window while Ms. Reeves helps the other students. Talia, can you help Marcus with number 7? She moves to Marcus's desk. Explains the problem. Marcus is 9 and struggles with everything involving numbers. He nods like he understands, but his eyes are somewhere else. Talia recognizes that look. The glaze of someone learning to accept defeat early. At lunch, she sits alone. Not because the other kids are mean, but because making friends at this point feels like investing in something temporary. 3 months from now, she'll be somewhere else. Better to practice being self-sufficient. Her caseworker, Lynn Davis, visits after lunch. They meet in the small office that doubles as a supply closet. Lynn is 40, black, tired in the way social workers get when the system breaks more kids than it fixes. "How are you doing?" Lynn asks. "Fine." Sharon says you've been quiet. Even for you. Talia shrugs. What's there to say? That she's tired of moving? That every new house feels like accepting that nowhere is home? That she stopped unpacking her bag completely because what's the point? Lynn sighs. She's heard these silences before. "I have something that might interest you." There's a charity dinner Thursday night. The Wynn Foundation is launching a mentorship program for foster youth. They want some of the kids there for the announcement. Why? To meet donors. To show them who they're helping. Lynn must see something in Talia's face because she adds, "I know. Using kids for photo ops isn't ideal. But the program is legitimate. Real mentorship, real funding. Could mean opportunities. Opportunities." That word follows Talia around like a promise that never quite delivers. But free dinner beats cereal, and maybe the house will be interesting. Rich people's houses usually are. "Okay. Great. I'll pick you up at 5 on Thursday. Dress nice. Sharon has something you can wear." After Lynn leaves, Talia returns to class. They're reading about the solar system. Ms. Reeves asks what planet they'd visit if they could. Other kids say Mars, Jupiter, Neptune. Talia thinks, whichever one doesn't have people. Thursday arrives slow and then fast. Sharon produces a dress from somewhere, navy blue, slightly too big, but clean. Talia puts it on and feels like she's wearing a costume, playing the role of grateful foster child for strangers who need to feel good about their donations. Lynn picks her up at 5. They drive toward the expensive part of the city where houses hide behind gates and trees cost more than cars. Other kids are in Lynn's van. Marcus, 2 older girls Talia recognizes from different group homes. "Remember," Lynn says as they approach the estate, "be polite. Answer questions if people ask. Don't wander off." The gates open. The driveway curves. The house appears, stone and glass, sprawling, the kind of place that makes you aware of every scuff on your shoes. Inside, it's overwhelmingly clean. White walls, fresh flowers, staff moving efficiently between rooms carrying trays and glasses. Classical music plays from somewhere invisible. Everything choreographed to signal wealth without being vulgar about it. The foster kids cluster together, uncomfortable in their nice clothes. Talia watches the adults arrive. Women in silk, men in suits that fit perfectly, everyone moving with the confidence of people who've never been told they don't belong somewhere. A woman approaches. Blonde hair, expensive smile, the kind of beauty that requires maintenance and money. She crouches slightly to meet their eye level, which Talia recognizes as the thing adults do when they want to seem approachable. "Hi, I'm Maribel Cross. Thank you so much for being here tonight." The other kids mumble responses. Talia stays quiet. Maribel's attention lands on her. "What's your name?" "Talia." "That's beautiful. Are you excited about the mentorship program?" "What's the right answer here?" Yes seems fake. No seems ungrateful. Talia settles for, "It sounds interesting." Maribel's smile doesn't change, but something flickers in her eyes. Recognition maybe that Talia isn't playing the game quite right. Then she's standing, moving to the next kid, spreading her charm like it's infinite. The dinner happens in a large room with chandeliers and tables that seat 8. Talia's placed at a table near the back with Lynn and the other foster kids. The adults sit closer to the front where a small stage has been set up. Staff bring food. Salad first, then chicken with vegetables Talia doesn't recognize. Everything tastes expensive, seasoned carefully, presented prettily, nothing like the bulk meals at Sharon's house. A man takes the stage, tall, black, confident. His suit probably costs more than Sharon makes in a month. He starts talking about opportunity, about giving back, about creating pathways for kids who deserve chances. Talia half listens. These speeches are always the same. Well-meaning words that sound true but mostly just make the speakers feel good about themselves. Then she sees the old woman. She's in a wheelchair near the side of the room. White hair, dark skin, dressed formally but sitting separate from the main tables. Something about her posture, the way she holds herself very still, like movement requires strategic planning, catches Talia's attention. Staff move past her without stopping. Conversations happen around her but not with her. She's present but not quite included, visible but somehow invisible. Talia recognizes that feeling. She lives that feeling. The man on stage, Elowen Wynn, she learns from the program, introduces Maribel. She takes the microphone, talks about the foundation, about mentorship changing lives. Her voice is warm and practiced. Everyone listens with the attentiveness people give to those who control money. Talia watches the old woman watching Maribel. The expression on her face is complicated. Not quite fear, not quite anger, something more careful. Something that looks like someone preparing for impact. Maribel finishes her speech to applause. Staff begin clearing plates. Adults move around networking, making connections, doing the social work that keeps foundations funded. Talia stands to use the bathroom. Lynn nods permission. The hallways are quieter, less crowded. She finds the bathroom, uses it, washes her hands in a sink that probably costs more than Sharon's car. Coming back, she takes a wrong turn, ends up in a different hallway lined with photographs, family pictures, candid moments, a visual history of wealth being built. She studies them, finds young Benton in various stages of growing up. His mother appears in many, the same woman in the wheelchair, but younger, standing, smiling without that careful expression. Footsteps approach. Talia turns, expecting staff to redirect her. Instead, it's Maribel and Benton, mid-conversation, not noticing her yet in the dim hallway. "Just think Harmony Hills is the best option," Maribel is saying. "The care is excellent, and she'd have more social engagement. I haven't decided yet. I know, I'm not pushing. I just want what's best for her." They pass without seeing Talia pressed against the wall. She waits, then follows at a distance. Not snooping exactly. Just curious about the tension in Benton's voice, the practiced patience in Maribel's. Back in the main room, dessert is being served. Talia returns to her seat. The old woman is still in her spot, but now someone's brought her a plate. She hasn't touched it. The evening winds down. Speeches conclude. Donors mingle. Lynn gathers the foster kids, prepares to leave. Talia takes one last look at the old woman. Their eyes meet. For just a second, something passes between them. Recognition, maybe, or understanding. The specific knowledge of being looked past, talked over, managed instead of heard. Then Lynn is herding them toward the van and the moment breaks. In the car ride home, Marcus falls asleep. The older girls whisper about the house, the food, whether the mentorship program is real or just for show. Talia stays quiet, thinking about the old woman's face, about the way Maribel's voice changed when talking about her, about the specific feeling of being somewhere you're not quite wanted. At the Brighton house, Sharon is waiting up. Talia changes out of the dress, returns to her regular clothes, lies in bed staring at the ceiling. Something was wrong at that dinner. Something beneath the speeches and the fancy food. She couldn't name it exactly, but she felt it, the way she always feels danger before it becomes obvious. The old woman is in trouble, and somehow Talia knows she's the only one who noticed. Should Talia get involved in something that's not her business, or stay out of trouble? The wine glass hovers 6 inches above Elowen's head. Talia sees it first, the crystal catching chandelier light, the dark liquid swaying inside. She's standing near the dessert table with Marcus, pretending to listen to him talk about the chocolate cake. But her attention is locked across the room where Maribel stands behind the wheelchair. The party has shifted. Dinner finished 20 minutes ago. Adults cluster in groups, voices rising with wine and self-importance. The foster kids are supposed to stay together, supposed to be visible but not intrusive, living proof that charity matters. Talia watches Maribel's wrist rotate. Slow, deliberate. The glass tips forward. Everything slows down. The wine leaves the glass in a dark stream. It catches light mid-fall, transforms into something almost beautiful before gravity pulls it toward Elowen's white hair. The first drops hit, then the rest. A cascade of Cabernet across silver curls, down the back of her navy dress, pooling in the wheelchair seat. Elowen goes rigid. Her hands grip the armrests so hard Talia can see knuckles go pale from across the room. Maribel gasps, "Oh my God!" The performance is immediate. Shock, horror, hands flying to her mouth. The glass dropping, carefully Talia notices placed more than dropped, onto the side table. "I'm so sorry. Someone bumped me." Maribel looks around wildly, searching for the invisible collision that never happened. Staff rush forward. Guests turn. The room reorganizes itself around the accident, everyone pivoting toward the spectacle of the old woman dripping wine like she's bleeding. "Mrs. Wynn, I'm so sorry." Maribel is already dabbing with napkins, her movements quick and efficient, drawing more attention to the mess. "Let me help." "Don't." Elowen's voice cuts through the commotion, quiet but sharp. Maribel's hand freezes mid-dab. For 1 second, maybe less, her face shows something other than concern, something cold and satisfied. Then it's gone, replaced by wounded confusion. Talia's chest tightens. She knows that look. Saw it on her second foster mother's face right before she'd blamed Talia for things that mysteriously broke. Saw it on Mr. Peterson's face at her 4th placement when he'd create situations that made her look like she was stealing. That look means someone is winning a game nobody else knows is being played. Benton appears from wherever he was networking. His face carries concern but not understanding. "Mom, are you okay?" The wine drips from Elowen's chin. Her dress is ruined. She looks small and humiliated and utterly alone despite being surrounded by people rushing to help. "I'm fine." Her voice is steady. Talia admires that, the refusal to cry or rage or give Maribel what she's clearly looking for. Staff will Elowen toward the hallway. The room watches them go. Then, because wealthy people are good at moving past awkwardness, conversations resume. The incident becomes an anecdote. "Poor Mrs. Wynn. These things happen. How terrible." Maribel stands where the wheelchair was, accepting sympathy from guests. "I feel awful. I don't know what happened. 1 minute I was holding my glass and then..." She trails off, letting them fill in explanations that excuse her. Talia watches the performance. Watches Maribel's face rearrange itself from practiced distress to grateful acceptance of comfort. Watches her touch Benton's arm, lean into him slightly, the picture of a caring fiancée devastated by her own clumsiness. But Talia saw the wrist rotate, saw the deliberate tip, saw that flash of satisfaction. Lynn appears beside her. "We're leaving soon. Say goodbye to the other kids. Can I use the bathroom first?" Lynn nods, already distracted by herding Marcus away from the dessert table. Talia walks toward the hallway, but instead of turning left toward the bathroom, she turns right, toward where they took Elowen. The hallway is quieter. Thick carpet swallows footsteps. Talia passes closed doors, follows the sound of voices, finds a partially open door near the end of the hall. Through the gap, she sees Elowen in the bedroom. 2 staff members are helping her out of the ruined dress. Their movements are efficient but impersonal. They don't speak to her, don't ask if she's okay. Just strip away wet clothing and replace it with clean, handling her like an object that needs processing. Elowen's face stays blank. Whatever she's feeling, she's locked it down tight. Talia recognizes that too. The survival skill of going somewhere else inside your head while your body gets handled by people who don't see you as fully human. One staff member bags the dress, evidence of nothing. The other helps Elowen into a clean blouse. They position her in bed like she's a piece of furniture, adjust pillows without asking if they're comfortable, then leave without saying goodnight. The door closes. Elowen is alone. Talia should leave, should return to Lynn and the van and her temporary life. Should mind her business like foster kids learn to do. Don't get involved, don't make waves, don't become memorable. But her feet move forward. Her hand pushes the door open. Elowen's head turns. Their eyes meet. For a second, neither speaks. "You saw?" Elowen finally says. Not a question. Talia nods, steps inside, closing the door behind her. She did it on purpose. Something crosses Elowen's face. Relief maybe, or recognition. The specific feeling of being believed when you've stopped expecting belief. Yes. Why doesn't anyone else see it? Because they don't want to. Elowen shifts in bed, winces. Or because she's very good at making it look like accidents. Talia moves closer. The room smells like wine and expensive carpet cleaner. How long has she been doing this? Months. Small things at first. Comments. Moving my things. Then it got worse. Elowen studies Talia. "You're one of the foster kids." "Talia, I'm Elowen." She pauses. "You should go back before someone misses you." "Do you want me to tell someone?" "About what I saw." The question hangs between them. Elowen's face shows something complicated, hope and resignation fighting for space. "Who would you tell?" "The staff work for my son." The doctor believes Maribel. Even Benton thinks I'm confused. Her voice stays level but pain bleeds through. "You're 11 years old. They'd say you misunderstood. Or that you're making up stories for attention." Talia knows she's right. Foster kids who make accusations get labeled problems. Especially when they're accusing wealthy white women of hurting old black ladies at charity dinners. The system protects some people and questions others, and Talia learned early which category she falls into. "I'm sorry," Talia says. "Means it." "Don't be sorry. Just..." Elowen stops, starts again. "Just remember what you saw. Sometimes being witnessed is enough." Footsteps approach in the hallway. Talia moves toward the door, pauses, looks back at Elowen lying in bed, alone in her giant house, surrounded by people who won't see what's happening. "I'll remember," Talia promises. She slips into the hallway just as a nurse rounds the corner. The woman barely glances at her. Just another foster kid wandering where she shouldn't. Talia finds the bathroom, uses it for real this time, then returns to the main room. Lynn is gathering kids. The van waits outside. Adults are still networking, still drinking, still celebrating their generosity, while an old woman lies in a bedroom with wine in her hair. Maribel catches Talia's eye across the room, smiles, waves. The perfect hostess thanking guests for coming. Talia doesn't wave back. In the van, Marcus falls asleep against the window. The older girls whisper about whether the mentorship program will actually happen. Lynn drives through streets that get progressively less expensive, less maintained, less interested in hiding their damage. Talia stares out at streetlights blurring past. Thinks about Elowen's face. About being hurt by someone everyone else trusts. About the specific loneliness of truth that nobody wants to hear. At the Brighton house, Sharon is waiting up. Talia changes into her regular clothes, climbs into bed. Sleep doesn't come easy. She keeps seeing the wine glass tip, keeps seeing Maribel's flash of satisfaction, keeps seeing Elowen's careful blankness. Somewhere across the city, in a house with 40 rooms, an old woman is lying awake too, wondering if being witnessed by an 11-year-old foster kid counts as anything. Wondering if truth matters when power decides what's real. And in another room of that same house, Maribel Cross is probably sleeping perfectly. Because people who hurt others without consequence usually do. Can one person noticing change anything? Or is Elowen beyond help? The foundation gala is in 3 weeks. Talia knows because Sharon mentioned it at breakfast. The mentorship program is launching officially, and they want the foster kids there again for photographs. More proof that charity works. More opportunities to be grateful on camera. Talia hasn't stopped thinking about Elowen, about the wine, about Maribel's face, about the way everyone looked at the old woman with pity but not protection. At school, Ms. Reeves is teaching about courage. They're reading a book about Ruby Bridges, about a 6-year-old walking into a school surrounded by people who hated her. Ms. Reeves asks what makes someone brave. Marcus says not being scared. Another kid says doing hard things. Talia stays quiet because she thinks courage is different. It's doing the thing anyway when being scared is the reasonable response. Thursday afternoon, Lynn picks her up early. We're going back to the estate. Maribel wants to introduce you kids to your potential mentors. Talia's stomach tightens. She doesn't want to go back. Doesn't want to see Maribel perform kindness or watch Elowen be invisible. But foster kids don't get to refuse invitations from wealthy foundations. The drive is familiar now. Same gates. Same driveway, same house that looks like it belongs in magazines. Inside, it's less crowded than the dinner, just the foster kids, some foundation staff, and a handful of adults who volunteered to be mentors. Maribel greets them in the main room. She's wearing cream-colored linen, looking effortless and expensive. Welcome back. Thank you for coming. She pairs each kid with a mentor. Talia gets matched with a woman named Dr. Simone Harper who teaches biology at the university. They're supposed to talk, get to know each other, see if the mentorship connection feels right. Dr. Harper asks about school, about interests, about goals. Talia gives acceptable answers while scanning the room. Elowen isn't here. Neither is Benton. Just Maribel moving between groups, managing interactions, making sure everyone looks engaged and grateful. After 30 minutes of forced conversation, Dr. Harper gets pulled away by another volunteer. Talia is alone. She stands, pretending to look at the photographs on the wall, and drifts toward the hallway. No one stops her. She's gotten good at being unremarkable, moving through spaces without drawing attention, existing in peripheral vision. She follows the route from last time, finds Elowen's room. The door is closed. Talia knocks softly. Come in. Elowen is in her wheelchair by the window. She's dressed nicely, but there's something off. Her hair isn't quite right. Her blouse is buttoned wrong, like someone dressed her without caring about the details. You came back, Elowen says. They made us. For the mentorship program. Ah, Elowen's mouth tightens. More performance. Talia closes the door, moves closer. Are you okay? Define okay. Elowen adjusts her position, moving stiffly. I'm alive. I'm housed. I'm fed. By most measures, I'm fine. But I'm disappearing. She says it plainly, without self-pity. Piece by piece. Decision by decision. Soon I won't even be in this house anymore. Where will you go? A facility. Memory care. Somewhere Benton can tell himself I'm being well taken care of while I'm just being stored until I die. The bluntness shocks Talia. Adults usually soften things for kids. Elowen talks to her like an equal. When? Soon. Benton's touring places. Maribel's been very helpful finding options. Elowen's voice carries bitter humor. She's very concerned about my well-being. Talia sits on the edge of the bed. What if someone told him about what she's really doing? Who would believe an 11-year-old over his fiancée? What if it wasn't just me? Talia's mind is working, connecting dots. What if someone caught her on camera? Elowen turns to look at her fully. What are you thinking? I don't know yet. Talia chews her lip. But there has to be a way. Some proof that shows what she's doing. She's careful. She only acts when there are no witnesses. And even if there were witnesses, Elowen stops. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but this isn't your fight. Maybe not, but I saw what I saw, and pretending I didn't makes me part of the problem. They sit in silence. Outside the window, gardeners trim hedges into geometric perfection. Everything maintained, everything controlled, nothing allowed to grow wild. Footsteps approach. Both of them tense. The door opens without knocking. Maribel steps in, stopping when she sees Talia. Her smile doesn't falter, but her eyes sharpen. Talia, I've been looking for you. Dr. Harper wants to talk more. Talia stands. I was looking for the bathroom and got lost. The bathroom is down the other hall. Maribel's voice stays pleasant but firm. Come on, I'll show you. Talia glances at Elowen. Their eyes meet. Some understanding passes between them. Shared knowledge, shared powerlessness, shared determination to not accept this as the end of the story. Okay. Maribel guides her back to the main room with a hand on her shoulder. The touch is light but controlling. Mrs. Wynn gets confused sometimes. If you need something, ask staff or myself. We don't want you wandering and getting lost. Translation: stay away from Elowen. Don't complicate things. They return to Dr. Harper. Maribel hovers nearby, not obviously monitoring but close enough to hear. The rest of the mentorship introduction passes in acceptable conversation. Talia says the right things, nods at the right moments, plays the role of grateful foster kid receiving opportunities. But her mind is elsewhere, planning, thinking, trying to figure out how an 11-year-old with no power and no standing can protect someone nobody else thinks needs protecting. The van ride home is quiet. Lynn drops kids off one by one until it's just Talia left. They pull up to the Brighton house. How was it? Lynn asks. Dr. Harper seems nice. Yeah, she's fine. This is a real opportunity, Talia. Try to engage with it. Talia nods, gets out, goes inside. Sharon is cooking dinner, spaghetti from a jar, garlic bread from the freezer. The familiar smell of cheap meals stretched to feed multiple kids. At dinner, the other girls talk about their mentors. About college maybe. About futures that might look different than their parents' past. Talia listens without contributing. After dinner, she helps clean up, does her homework, lies in bed staring at the ceiling, thinks about Elowen alone in that house, about Maribel slowly erasing her, about Benton not seeing what's happening because believing it would cost him something he doesn't want to lose. The mentorship program wants to give Talia opportunities, wants to change her trajectory, wants to prove that intervention matters. But nobody's intervening for Elowen. Talia closes her eyes. Tomorrow is Friday. The gala is in 3 weeks. She doesn't know what she can do in 3 weeks. Doesn't know if an 11-year-old's word matters against a wealthy woman's narrative. But she knows she has to try, because walking away from Elowen means accepting that some people don't matter enough to fight for. And if Talia accepts that, she's accepting the same logic that shuffled her through 12 foster homes, that kids like her are temporary, disposable, not worth the trouble of truly seeing. She won't accept that for herself. She won't accept it for Elowen either. Somewhere across the city, Elowen is probably lying awake too, maybe wondering if the 11-year-old who saw the truth will remember her promise. Maybe wondering if being witnessed by one powerless person is enough to matter. It has to be enough, because sometimes it's all you get. Will Talia find a way to help? Or will Maribel succeed before anyone can stop her? The scholarship letter arrives on a Tuesday. Elowen sits in her wheelchair by the window when Benton brings it. his face bright with pride he's trying to contain. "Mom, I have good news. The foundation approved the endowment." She takes the letter, reads it twice. A full-ride scholarship to the university, renewable for 4 years, funded anonymously through the Wynn Foundation. Designated for a student named Talia Monroe. "I don't understand." Benton kneels beside her chair. He looks different today, clearer somehow, less distracted. "I've been thinking about what you said, about being heard, about being seen." He pauses. "That girl at the dinner, Talia, she came to visit you." "Yes, twice. Maribel told me she kept wandering off. Said she was getting lost." His voice is careful. "But she wasn't getting lost, was she? She was coming to see you." Elowen's hands tighten on the letter. "Benton, why would an 11-year-old foster kid keep coming back to talk to you if everything was fine?" The question sits between them. Elowen has spent months trying to make Benton see. Spent months being dismissed as confused, paranoid, declining. Now he's asking. Now he's paying attention. But she's so tired of fighting. "I don't want to do this anymore," she says quietly. "I don't want to convince you. I don't want to prove my reality. I just want..." She stops. What does she want? "I just want to matter without having to earn it." Benton's face crumples slightly. He reaches for her hand. "You've always mattered. I'm sorry I made you feel otherwise. It's not just you. It's..." She looks out the window. "It's everyone. The staff, the doctors, Maribel. Everyone decided I was declining, so everything I said got filtered through that assumption." "I know." He stands, paces. "I've been watching, really watching, and you're right. Maribel is..." He struggles with the words. "She's been managing you, managing the narrative about you, creating a version of reality where removing you from this house seems like the compassionate choice." Elowen closes her eyes. Hearing him say it hurts worse than being disbelieved. Because now she has to decide what comes next. "What are you going to do?" she asks. "I don't know yet." He returns to her. "But I'm not marrying her. That's decided. I just need to figure out how to..." He stops. "How to end it without destroying her. Without making this public. Without turning it into the kind of scandal that hurts everyone. She deserves to be exposed. Maybe, but exposing her also exposes you, makes your suffering entertainment. Turns your pain into proof of my failure to protect you." His voice cracks slightly. "I can't do that to you. Not after everything else." They sit in silence. Outside, the gardeners work. The estate continues its perfect maintenance. Nothing looks wrong from a distance. "The scholarship," Elowen says. "For Talia, that's what you're doing instead." Partly, she saw something nobody else did. She came back when it would have been easier to stay away. That kind of courage deserves investment. He touches the letter. "But also, I'm making changes. Letting go of staff who should have seen what was happening. Finding you a new doctor. Giving you back control of your care. And Maribel? I'll end the engagement quietly. She'll keep her foundation position. Her reputation stays intact. But she won't be part of this family." Elowen absorbs this. It's not the justice she imagined. No public exposure. No consequences that match the harm. Just quiet removal and financial comfort for a girl who bore witness. "She wins," Elowen says. "If you do it this way." She walks away without anyone knowing what she did. "No," Benton shakes his head. "She loses me. She loses access to this family. She loses the future she was building. And she has to live with knowing that I know. That I chose you. That her performance failed. That's not enough. Maybe not. But it's what I can give without sacrificing you in the process." The words land heavy. Elowen understands what he's saying. That revenge would require making her suffering public. That exposure would mean testimony, scrutiny, judgment. That she'd have to relive every moment of abuse for strangers who'd pick apart her credibility. She's 68 years old. She's tired. She doesn't want to be a martyr or a headline. "Okay," she says. "Do it quietly. Benton leaves to make calls. Elowen sits with the scholarship letter, thinks about Talia, about an 11-year-old deciding that witnessing mattered more than staying safe. 3 days later, Maribel is gone. The engagement ends in a brief, private conversation. Benton gives no specifics. Maribel accepts gracefully because the alternative is having her cruelty made public. She keeps her foundation role. She keeps her reputation. She just loses access to the Wynn family. Staff changes happen quietly. The new doctor listens when Elowen speaks. The medications get adjusted to what she actually needs instead of what makes her manageable. Elowen starts feeling less foggy. Her hands shake less. She remembers things clearly. Turns out she wasn't declining. She was being declined. Being medicated into confusion to make someone else's narrative more believable. The gala happens without her. Benton attends alone, makes a speech about the mentorship program, thanks donors for their support. Talia receives her scholarship envelope along with the other selected students. She opens it at the Brighton house later that night, reads the letter 3 times before understanding it's real. A full ride. For years. Everything paid. All because she wandered down a hallway and decided to believe what she saw. Lynn hugs her. Sharon cries. The other foster girls crowd around wanting to see the letter, wanting proof that good things can happen to kids like them. Talia holds the scholarship and thinks about Elowen. Wonders if the old woman is okay. Wonders if noticing was enough. 2 weeks later, a smaller envelope arrives addressed to Talia. Inside is a handwritten note on expensive stationery. Dear Talia, thank you for seeing. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for reminding me that being witnessed still matters, even when nothing changes the way we hope it will. Your courage gave my son the clarity he needed. I'm back in control of my own life now. Not because justice was served, but because one person refused to pretend they didn't see what they saw. Use your scholarship. Build something beautiful. Remember that small acts of witness are never truly small. With gratitude, Elowen Wynn. Talia reads the letter sitting on her bed at the Brighton house. Outside, cars pass. Inside, foster kids navigate temporary lives. Somewhere across the city, an old woman is probably having dinner with her son, medication adjusted, autonomy restored, dignity returned piece by piece. It's not the ending Talia would have written. No dramatic confrontation, no public exposure, no satisfying justice that puts bad people in their place. Just quiet correction, private reckoning. One woman's suffering acknowledged and one girl's courage rewarded, and one man's blindness finally lifted. Talia folds the letter carefully, puts it in the box under her bed where she keeps things that matter. Tomorrow she'll go to school. Next month she'll meet with academic advisors about her scholarship. Next year she'll start at the university, the first in her family to go to college. But tonight she sits with the knowledge that sometimes intervention looks like simply refusing to look away. That power isn't always loud. That justice sometimes means restoration instead of revenge. She thinks about Elowen alone in that house for months, being hurt by someone everyone trusted. Thinks about how easily people accept narratives that confirm what they want to believe. And she promises herself that she'll never be the person who looks away. Never be the one who accepts someone else's suffering because acknowledging it is uncomfortable. Because Talia knows what it feels like to be dismissed, to have your reality questioned, to be considered temporary and disposable. And she knows that the opposite of that, being seen, being believed, being valued, can change everything. Even if the change is quieter than anyone expects. Was quiet justice better than public exposure, or did Maribel get away with too much? The memory care brochures sit in the trash. Benton threw them away 3 weeks ago, the same day he ended things with Maribel. Now he stands in his office downtown, phone pressed to his ear, listening to his lawyer detail the engagement dissolution agreement. She's agreed to all terms. No public statements. No claims against the family. She keeps her foundation position but relinquishes all advisory roles related to family matters. And the NDA? Signed. She can't discuss the circumstances of the separation. You can't discuss her conduct. Mutual silence. Benton signs the documents electronically, watches his signature appear on screen, legally binding, sealing away truth in exchange for peace. His assistant brings coffee. Your mother called. She wants to know if you're coming for dinner. Tell her yes. The day passes in meetings, acquisition talks, board presentations. The mechanisms of wealth that continue regardless of personal upheaval. Benton performs competence while his mind stays elsewhere, on his mother, on his failure to see, on the years he spent building empires while she was being dismantled in his own house. At 6, he drives to the estate. The gates open. The driveway curves. Everything looks the same but feels different. Like when you notice a crack in the foundation and suddenly the whole structure seems less stable. Inside, his mother is in the living room. Not in her wheelchair, she's sitting on the couch, proper furniture for proper people. The physical therapist he hired last week is there too, packing up equipment. How'd it go? Benton asks. Good progress. The therapist smiles at Elowen. She's stronger than anyone was telling her she was. After the therapist leaves, Benton sits beside his mother. She looks different, more alert, less diminished. Turns out constant medication fog and systematic demoralization will do that. Make someone appear less capable than they are. How are you feeling? He asks. Better, clearer. She touches his hand. You look tired. Busy week. That's not what I meant. Benton leans back, stares at the ceiling. I keep thinking about all the times you tried to tell me. All the moments I could have seen what was happening and chose not to. You're not a mind reader. I didn't need to read minds. I needed to trust you. He turns to look at her. I spent so long seeing you as someone who needed protection that I stopped seeing you as someone who might need belief. You were trying to help. I was trying to manage. There's a difference. He stands, paces to the window. Maribel used my love for you against both of us. She knew I'd do anything to keep you safe. So she made me believe safety meant removing you from your own life. Elowen doesn't argue. She knows he's right. Is she really gone? Elowen asks. Yes, the engagement is dissolved. She won't be back. What did you tell people? The staff? The board? That we wanted different things. That the timing wasn't right. Generic enough to satisfy curiosity without inviting speculation. He returns to the couch. Some people will assume I'm having cold feet. Others will assume she was. Nobody will know what actually happened. She gets away with it. In public, yes. But privately, he stops. Privately, she knows that I know. She knows she lost access to this family. She knows her performance failed. That's not nothing. Elowen considers this. You're protecting her reputation. I'm protecting yours. If this becomes public, your suffering becomes spectacle. You'd have to testify to every moment of abuse. Defend your credibility against lawyers. Watch people debate whether you're reliable or confused. His voice hardens. I won't subject you to that. Not for the satisfaction of public justice. They sit in silence. Somewhere in the house, staff are preparing dinner. The estate continues its routines, absorbing this family drama the way expensive homes do. Quietly, without visible damage, everything maintained. That girl, Elowen says. Talia. She got the scholarship. I know. Lynn told me she cried when she opened it. Good. Elowen's face softens. She deserves something good. Most of those kids never get anything good. What she did, coming back to check on you, that took real courage. She didn't think about courage. She just saw something wrong and refused to pretend she didn't. Elowen pauses. That's what courage actually is. Not fearlessness. Just refusal to be complicit. Dinner arrives on trays. They eat together in the living room instead of the formal dining room. Chicken and vegetables prepared by the new chef who actually asks Elowen about her preferences instead of assuming she needs soft food and bland flavors. After dinner, Benton helps her to her room. The new routine, he asks what she needs instead of deciding for her. I'm thinking about selling the estate, he says. Elowen turns. Why? Because this house has too many memories now. Because I built this thinking it would mean something, and instead it just gave someone like Maribel more space to operate. He sits on the edge of her bed. I want something smaller, something we can actually live in instead of maintain. Where would we go? I don't know yet. Somewhere you can have independence but also support. Somewhere that feels like home instead of a museum. He stands. Just think about it. After he leaves, Elowen lies in bed thinking about smaller houses. About living somewhere that doesn't require staff and maintenance and constant performance. About what home might feel like when it's not trying to prove anything. She thinks about Talia. About an 11-year-old seeing truth that adults missed. About how witness sometimes matters more than intervention. She thinks about Maribel. About someone spending years cultivating an image while hollowing out anyone who threatened it. About how someone can do terrible things and face no public consequences because the cost of exposure is too high for their victims. The anger is still there. The injustice. The knowledge that Maribel will probably do this again to someone else who won't have a witness like Talia. But Elowen is 68 years old. She survived Jim Crow and single motherhood and every system designed to make people like her accept less. She survived Maribel too. Not through dramatic justice or public vindication, but through stubbornness and one person's refusal to look away. That's worth something. Maybe not everything, but something. She closes her eyes. Tomorrow, the new physical therapist comes. Tomorrow, she'll have her first session with the counselor Benton hired. Someone to help process months of systematic abuse. Tomorrow continues the work of rebuilding what was torn down. But tonight, she's just an old woman in a quiet house. No longer medicated into fog. No longer dismissed as confused. No longer fighting for belief. Tonight, she can just rest. Across the city, Maribel Cross sits in her apartment. The one she'll keep because Benton made sure the separation agreement was generous. She pours wine, sits on her expensive couch, stares at her phone where messages accumulate. Friends asking what happened, colleagues expressing sympathy, everyone accepting her version that sometimes things just don't work out. She lost Benton, lost access to his family, lost the future she'd been building for years. But her reputation is intact. Her foundation position is secure. Her carefully constructed image remains unblemished. She should feel relief. Instead, she feels nothing. Just the hollow recognition that she almost had everything and lost it because one old woman refused to disappear quietly. And because one 11-year-old foster kid decided to notice. Maribel finishes her wine, goes to bed. Tomorrow she has a board meeting. Tomorrow she'll smile and perform and continue being the person everyone thinks she is. Tonight, she just has to accept that she played perfectly and still lost. Do you think Maribel will ever face real consequences? Or is getting away with it just how the world works? For years pass like water. Talia graduates from high school. The Brighton house throws her a small party. Sharon cries again. Lynn brings a cake. The other foster girls who've cycled through over the years send cards from their own scattered lives. In the fall, Talia moves into the university dorms. Her room is small, shared with a roommate from Oregon who's never met anyone from foster care before. They figure each other out slowly, learn to coexist in confined space. Dr. Harper becomes more than a mentor. She becomes the person Talia calls when organic chemistry feels impossible. When imposter syndrome whispers that girls like her don't belong in labs. When the weight of being the first in her family to do this threatens to crush her. Elowen writes letters. Not often, but regularly. Updates about the smaller house Benton bought. A renovated brownstone in a neighborhood with actual sidewalks and corner stores. About her physical therapy progress. About the garden she planted herself. Wildflowers returning after years of geometric roses. Talia writes back, tells her about classes, about learning that mitochondria really are the powerhouse of the cell, about the scholarship covering everything so she never has to choose between textbooks and food. They meet for lunch twice a year, once in summer, once during winter break. Sit in cafes and talk like people who share a specific understanding, that survival sometimes looks quiet, that justice doesn't always photograph well, that being witnessed can matter more than being saved. Senior year, Talia writes her thesis on cellular resilience. how damaged cells repair themselves, how organisms adapt to hostile environments, how life persists despite everything working against it. Her advisor calls it brilliant. Talia knows she's writing about more than biology. Graduation happens on a Saturday in May. The ceremony is long, names called in alphabetical order. When they reach Monroe, Talia walks across the stage in borrowed robes, accepts her diploma, looks into the crowd. Elowen is there, front row, next to Benton. She can walk now with a cane, physical therapy and proper medication restoring what was stolen. When their eyes meet, Elowen nods once. Acknowledgement. Respect. The specific recognition between people who refused to accept erasure. After the ceremony, they gather outside. Sharon brought flowers. Lynn brought a camera. Dr. Harper brought pride that radiates like heat. Benton shakes Talia's hand. Congratulations. What's next? Graduate school. Molecular biology program. Full funding. Good. He smiles. The world needs more people like you. People who pay attention. Elowen hugs her carefully. Her arms are stronger than they were 4 years ago. Her grip steady. I'm proud of you. Thank you for the letters, Talia says. They helped. Thank you for coming back. That night, you didn't have to. Yes, I did. They understand each other. Some debts can't be repaid, only honored by living well. Later, at dinner, a restaurant Benton chose, nice enough to feel celebratory but not so fancy that Talia's guests feel uncomfortable. They toast her future. Sharon's emotional. Lynn's practical, already discussing graduate housing options. Dr. Harper's asking about research interests. Elowen sits quietly, watching the girl she met 4 years ago become a woman who believes in her own trajectory, who knows her worth isn't determined by where she started. In the bathroom, Talia checks her phone. Social media shows other graduations, other lives unfolding. She scrolls past celebration photos until she stops on one particular image. Maribel Cross at a charity gala. New fiancé beside her. Same smile, same performance. Caption about their engagement, about building a future together, about love and partnership and all the words people use when they don't know what's underneath. Talia stares at the photo, wonders if the new fiancé has a mother, wonders if that mother is safe. She should feel anger, should want to warn him, expose her, prevent what might happen. But she learned something in 4 years of biology. You can't save every cell. You can only strengthen the ones still fighting. She deletes the app, returns to dinner, to people who showed up for her, to Elowen telling a story about her garden, about wildflowers taking root again after thinking they were gone forever. Outside, the city moves. People hurt and heal. Witnesses notice or don't. Justice happens quietly or not at all. But in this restaurant, at this table, a foster kid who refused to look away is graduating with honors. An old woman who survived erasure is laughing over dessert. A son who learned to listen is paying for a celebration that matters. Small victories, quiet restoration, the specific triumph of simply persisting. It's not everything, but tonight, it's enough.